I've been in the trenches of e-commerce for over 25 years, and I've been responsible for over $1 billion in e-commerce revenue over that journey. And while that sounds great, I had to endure a lot of hardship, a lot of trial and error, a lot of testing and learning during that time. So in today's video, I'm going to skip all that hustle and grind. Instead, I'm going to share with you 40 lessons I learned during this long, arduous journey. Lesson number 1, speed kills slow websites. Every extra second above that 1.7 seconds and you're losing 7% of your conversions. As you close that gap, the more revenue you will generate from the existing traffic that you're getting. For example, Oram Brothers, their load times were well over 20 seconds. When we brought it under 1.7 seconds, within 6 weeks of that tuning, we had 112% increase in incremental revenue. Lesson number 2, session value trumps conversion rate. Session value is revenue per session. This is a metric that I have created over the past 25 years to tell me the actual productivity of any traffic that I bring to the site. Whether it comes from meta ads, Google ads, email marketing, organic search, it doesn't matter. I want to calculate how productive that traffic is, and revenue per session or session value is a better metric for measuring that. Lesson number 3, segment based on customer value and not demographics. Do you even know how your customers behave on your site? The report that actually tells you that you have to actually do a segmentation report is RFM, recency, frequency, monetary value. Recency tells you how recently did they purchase, frequency tells you how frequently do they purchase, and monetary value, what is their lifetime spend or their lifetime spent within a 12-month period. And that actually gives you a better data point for you to market to these segments rather than using demographics. A solid example of this is the vitamin shop. We implemented an active universe report that had the RFM built into it. From there, we went from less than $10 million. In 4.5 years, we went to $52 million and a highly profitable business by focusing on customer segmentation marketing rather than demographics. So lesson 4, build effective landing pages. Whether you're running an ad or a specific type of a social post, you should have a specific landing page that continues that story that you told in the ad. Next lesson, email marketing outperforms all channels, hands down. In fact, so much so that for every dollar you spend on email marketing, you get $36 back when you do email marketing properly. Lesson 6, price based on value, not cost. So many of you, when I have a one-on-one conversation with you through my live sessions or live Q&A events or even conferences, you tell me that your products are so amazing. Your product does these 3 things phenomenally well. Consumers are looking for it. Your competitors don't have it. But then when I look at your selling price, you are 10-15% cheaper, 20% cheaper than your competition. Why are you pricing your product based on some sort of a markup or competitive pricing? Instead, if there is value in those 3 features you just told me, why isn't your product twice as much in cost rather than just a certain arbitrary percentage of profit margin? Brings me to the next lesson. Fix your attribution with custom analysis. Create a custom attribution model that takes into account the entire customer lifecycle. When they came across your brand, they clicked on your ad, they came to your site, they browsed products, they added items to the cart, they went to the checkout page, they checked out your blog articles, then they went through the purchase, then they did a repurchase, and then they were lapsed, and then they came back and reactivated. All of those things are different levels of attribution, and you should account for all of that and actually look at exactly what is actually happening when it comes to your marketing spend. Next lesson, optimize for mobile first, in fact, device specific. You should look at your traffic analytics related to devices people are using to coming to your site. On average, in 2025, 72% of e-commerce sales comes from mobile devices. Primarily, it's a mobile device over desktop. Desktop represents less than 20% now of your traffic. In fact, because you're watching this video, I'm giving you permission to ignore your desktop site altogether. Optimize and obsess about your mobile site and optimize everything on the entire journey for the iPhone device, for the Samsung Galaxy, and you have to optimize it for Safari on iPhone and Chrome on Samsung Galaxy. Lesson 9, cross-sell with strategic product bundling. If you're e-com platform like Shopify, you can go into the Shopify analytics and it will tell you what people are actually buying together. So you have had quite a lot of interesting data of people without you even being involved. They are actually making these purchases. That's a strong signal for you to actually evaluate to see if you could create strategic bundles and price it properly so you can get more people to do that behavior. When you do that, you going to just skyrocket your average order. Lesson 10, fix technical SEO first. From my experience working with so many Shopify businesses, what I see is that when you run an SEO audit of these Shopify sites, there are hundreds of SEO errors and thousands of SEO warnings that come up. And how does that impact your business? Google actually dings you when you have technical issues with your site, and those are technical SEO errors. Typically, you would run an SEO audit inside of a tool like SEMrush, for example. You would run it for the entire site. It gives you exactly what's wrong with it. It shows you duplicate content, structurally, if you have something broken, if you have metadata like your meta title and meta description are missing or duplicate or anything like that. All of those technical SEO errors are actually causing a ranking issue with your organic content. Lesson number 11, one-hit wonders are killing your profits. Most Shopify businesses are operating as a purely transactional business. And how do I know that? When you run two segments in Shopify, one is a number of orders equal to one. That's what I call one-hit wonders. And why is that name? Macarena and Mambo number 5, those were one-hit wonders. There are customers in your database that they only buy one time from you. Run that segment, you get number of orders in their lifetime was 1, and then you run another segment, a number of orders greater or equal to 1. You divide those two numbers up and you get a certain percentage. Next lesson, use bold claims in your product titles. Stop with the generic words and generic descriptions. Be bold. Say something really exceptional that other brands in your category are not using. Be truthful, don't lie, but at the same time, be as bold as possible. Lesson 13, simplify your customer journey. Remove unnecessary fields. Most product pages in e-commerce have a section close to that at the cart called a quantity selector. They have quantity and then they have a drop down. After I have a very serious analytical conversation with you, I'll ask you how many people actually buy 2 of these. Relatively never. What if they were to buy Sabir 2 units? How would they be able to buy that? Okay, can you look at the past 365 days of data? How many people actually did that? Oh, nobody? Okay. So why are you taking up space on this product page that does not really require a quantity selector? In fact, there should be a strategy related to quantity. Make it obvious for them to just press it like this on their iPhone instead of drop down, select. There's a lot of confusion in that process. And that's just one example of it. Just go through the entire journey. You should simplify it as much as possible. Lesson 14, implement all automated email campaigns. You have already invested in Shopify. You have invested in Klaviyo. You have invested in Meta Ads, Google Ads. All of these tools collect incredible amounts of data. Literally, you have every piece of data about their journey. With Klaviyo at your disposal, you can create lifecycle marketing and automated emails. In fact, you could also do automated SMS based on where they are in their journey with you. You're going to get the highest open rates, the highest click-through rates. You're going to get the most conversion out of those email campaigns and the most revenue out of those email and SMS campaigns. Lesson 15, focus on retaining customers, not just acquisition. You have to take consumers when they give you their email address and they don't place an order. That's a zero-time buyer. You have to have a strategy in place to take them from that 0 to a 1. Now, when they're in the 1, remember the term I used, one-hit wonders? That's where they are. And most of your businesses, when you run that report that I mentioned in the earlier lesson, you have to put a strategy to take them from that one-time purchase to a second-time purchase. So for this lesson, you should use relatable metaphors. You have seen it. If your product lends itself nicely to before and after, show it on a card, on a carousel card, to show that there is a before and after effect. So there are ways to taking more complex concepts and actually simplifying it through metaphors. Lesson 17, please use standard e-commerce call to action to boost your conversion. Do you know that e-commerce has existed for 25 years? There has been trillions of dollars that have gone into educating the e-commerce shopper to look for certain things. And what are those things? Basic call to action stuff. Add to cart, proceed to checkout, place order, email sign up. Consumers know what those things mean. Even the iconography of a magnifying glass means product search. When you sway from that and you try to become very creative, and I'm talking to a lot of brands that are high-end luxury brands, they have their own language for their brand, the way they describe their products and stuff like that. That's That's perfectly fine. What's not fine is when you start messing with the common language that the consumers understand for e-commerce. As soon as you do that, you lose conversions. Lesson 18, implement mobile payment options. You should by default accept Apple Pay, Google Pay, Samsung Pay. You should accept PayPal, and also this one is going to be a shocker for you, Amazon Pay. If you're accepting Amazon Pay on your Shopify site, means that you're cutting down the time that they have to input any of that stuff because it's already there. Or if you're on the device and it's an iPhone, they definitely have an Apple Wallet set up with a credit card and shipping and billing address and all of that information. Make it stupid simple for them. Consumers should be able to get in and get out from your site within 30 seconds. My next lesson, create a frictionless returns process. When consumers show up to that product page, they are interested in your product, but they're looking to see if they have any questions that are not answered for some reason. And a lot of fashion companies, shoe companies, even jewelry, size might be the biggest problem, the biggest anxiety that they have. But if you make that process very simple by saying, oh, there is a free shipping, free return, or just free return if it's not the right size, or you're encouraging people to go one size up and one size down, and that's called bracketing, right? Let them do that so that they can keep the size that's theirs, and the two other sizes that are not theirs, they could return it back to you. Lesson 20, leverage social proof strategically. Customer reviews should not just be an afterthought on the product page at the bottom of the page and you don't really have anything else. Reviews, customer reviews, testimonials are the social currency that actually helps you convert. Reward the behavior that the consumer gives you, because every one of those things helps with the conversion rate at a different level. A video testimonial is phenomenal. Lesson 21, use videos to showcase your product's features. Create short and simple ways of showing your product from different angles, different uses. Let's say if it's a fashion product, on different body types. When you actually put the product on and show them how to use the product, how to assemble the product, all of these things are videos, and videos are tremendously great at skyrocketing your conversions from product views. Lesson 22, implement live chat with real humans. One effective way of doing that is actually saving the transcriptions of the conversations that happen between your site visitor and your real human representative. And then once you analyze that, you can actually create content that you could add to the product page that answers it for all the other people that are not going to engage with you with live chat. Lesson 23, optimize for search intent, not just keywords. One of the things that I ended up doing at Vitamin Shop, I rebuilt the search engine from the ground up. When you search for a certain product or a concept, I knew what your intent was, and then I would prioritize the results of that search based on that intent, then giving you just a keyword search in my product catalog that most search engines do these days. Lesson 24, you have to implement reactivation campaigns. When you run your report, like let's say if we identify the segment of lapsed customers to be that their last purchase was more than 12 months ago. So let me ask you, do you remember what brands did you buy products from like 12 months ago? You wouldn't remember. These customers probably have forgotten you. They have just one qualification, that they bought from you one time or maybe several times, but the last time they bought was more than 12 months ago. You have to put in place a proper reactivation campaign to bring those customers back. When you have a huge number of lapsed customers, that points to a customer retention problem that you have in your business. So solve it. Lesson 25, optimize supply chain end to end. Just as much as you obsess about that ROAS from Meta ads, you have to understand each and every step of that process and see where the bottlenecks are. The better you get at understanding this entire workflow, then you could introduce even marketing concepts like pre-order or stock out, back in order. You can place an order because you know that close to your warehouse, you can actually go on pre-order. You would be able to fulfill those orders within 48 hours. Lesson 26, create multiple thumbnails before you invest a penny in actual product. With the progress that's been made in whether it's Photoshop, Illustrator, or even AI-based image generation, you can actually create a very convincing product image and product videos even to showcase what this potential product is going to be. Work on your ads for that. That requires a lot of time, maybe some investment. That investment is a lot cheaper than for you to spend time on product design, product manufacturing, only to figure out if it's going to work, and you have not even figured out how to sell this product. Lesson 27, fast shipping beats free shipping. I'm not asking you to give free expedited shipping or fast shipping to your consumers. Have the option of doing priority shipping. Just by doing that, you are able to actually increase your average order, most of you offer free shipping on your site. Maybe that's a economy shipping that takes 7 to 14 days to arrive. But somebody really wants this product that you're selling. You can offer premium shipping like priority shipping that gets the order to them in 2 to 3 days and charge for that experience. Just having the option helps with conversion. Lesson 28, focus on 1% daily improvement. Most of you have heard from a lot of people to make big changes to your site, big changes to your e-commerce business, big changes to your meta ad. The simplest thing I can tell you is set a daily goal of 1% improvement in any KPI. That email open rate compared to yesterday's campaign, today, I just want to improve it by 1%. I want to improve my ad click-through rate by 1%. Very simple changes on a daily basis. Lesson 29, identify performance bottlenecks. My favorite tools, there are two of them. One is GT Metrics and the second one is webpagetest.org. For both of them, you should take the URL of your best-selling product page and copy it, paste it into each one of these tools. These tools actually tell you where your bottlenecks are, what's getting in the way of the consumer attention span of 1.7 seconds. And if you're not reacting to that consumer's 1.7 second attention span, every second is costing you 7% in your conversion. Lesson 30, calculate revenue per session by channel. So that means that when you look at meta ads, you should look at how many landing page views you get. Let's call that approximately number of sessions. And then look at the attributed dollars they claim that they made. You divide those two numbers up, that's revenue per session by channel. As long as you have UTM tagged it, you should be able to calculate your session value by channel. And then you allocate your budgets and your time based on your most productive channel. Lesson 31, listen closely. Never discount without strategy. If I were to give you a barrel of money and there's only limited amount of cash in there, and every time you thought of giving a discount, you had to remove that dollar amount. It's real currency. You had to remove it and you just throw it out. Hypothetically, you're burning that money. Eventually, you're going to run out of money and then you would have no money left for you to give away as promotion or discount. So please stop discounting to death. Lesson 32, optimize your data collection process. The problem is data is everywhere. And as a business owner, unless you kind of put your hands around this data and bring it into a singular place and you make it part of your habit to look at this data on a weekly basis, it will get out of hand. You wouldn't even know if your business is profitable or not. You have to get a handle over your data on a weekly basis. You have to do it Monday morning, 9:30 a.m. What else are you doing? Lesson 33, use dynamic remarketing effectively. You are blessed with so much incredible amount of data from Shopify that feeds it to Meta Ads, it feeds it to Google Ads, it feeds it to Klaviyo. And on the other side of it, all you have to do is set it up properly so that you can dynamically show to the consumer where they left off in their journey with you. So if they looked at a product, your goal should be to re-engage them to go to the next step, which is add to cart. If they were at the add to cart, but they did not check out, your goal is to get them to go from add to cart to the next step, which is proceed to checkout. Make it more personalized because you have the data. It's not like you have to work any harder than you need to. Show them that dynamic ad and you will see how your ROAS skyrockets. Lesson 34, implement a robust loyalty program. You wouldn't treat Beyonce and an amateur karaoke singer the same way, would you? So when I analyze your business, why are you doing that to your customers? That Beyonce is a 17-time buyer on your site. You're giving them the same message, the same offer as somebody who has not even committed to you, 0-time buyer. Why are you doing that? You have to put in a proper loyalty program based on the behavior that you want to condone. Lesson 35, master cart abandonment recovery. Most of you, when we talk about cart abandonment, to you it means one email that you would send out to the consumer for them to come back because you entice them with some sort of offer. And then you say that, oh, my cart recovery is not really working, even though I gave them a ridiculous offer like 30% off. The problem with that is that most consumers, after they have engaged with you, you really need to re-engage with them to remind them how great your product is, show them the social proof. There was something on that page, on that product page, that did not answer their question. Lesson 36, create content strategy beyond product. Do you know that the product cannot really stand on its own with its own attributes or technical spec or just a couple of photos? You have to really give educational content, especially if it's something related to health and wellness or even household item. You have to show them lifestyle. How does it fit in my life as a consumer? And also the third piece that most of you are missing missing is you. You are the founder. There's a POV you provide of why you selected this product. Why did you make this product? So create a content strategy. It's not just for the product pages. You can utilize that on social media content, email content, just about everywhere. Next lesson for you, stop using vanity metrics. Instead, replace with actionable insight. So many of you do your screen share on Zoom and you show me how beautiful that dashboard is, and you probably paid somebody to do that for you. It looks incredible, really impressive, but nothing on there when I ask a follow-up question. That dashboard is literally missing that data. It should be information that if you were to look at it and update it every single Monday at 9:30 a.m., you know what to do with the business. You're not a content creator on social media. You're an e-commerce business that needs to understand your business with data that is actionable for you to do something or stop doing something. Lesson 38, design mobile checkout experience specifically. When you are going through that mobile experience on your site, does everything that you need to do, can you do it with your finger? By the way, did you know that 70% of engagement happens right there before they even do this to look what's below it? And how do I know that? You can install a piece of software like Lucky Orange. It's incredible. In fact, when I'm on that product page, because it's mobile, where's the Apple Pay button? Why are you expecting me to go through 3 pages of checkout or even a single page checkout? I already have my checkout. It's called Apple Pay. That's how you oversimplify that process. Lesson 39, fix your ROAS expectations. I know that across the board, on average, the gross margin is around 50%. If your gross margin is around 50%, if you're a little bit higher, you can go and celebrate. If you're a little bit lower, you have a harder job to do if it's 35, 40%. However, your ROAS cannot be 1.5. Your ROAS has to be a minimum of 2.5. I already told you the lesson earlier about one-hit wonders. For several businesses that have gone through my program, they have seen that their number is 100% of their database is one-hit wonders. There is no second transaction. So fixing a second transaction is a different problem you need to solve. The first problem you need to solve is you want to make sure everything from that ad creative to the audience to the ad copy to the call to action in that ad when people show up to your site consumer attention span 1.7 seconds. You have to make sure that all of that works and you're getting a minimum of 2.5. How can I summarize 25 years of my experience? Lesson 40. Optimize all 8 dimensions systematically. E-commerce is a multi-dimensional game. You have to optimize all 8 dimensions. In fact, I have authored a framework called the 8D method that looks at all 8 dimensions of e-commerce to optimize e-commerce businesses so that they can strategically grow or compound it over time. So the work you do on January 1st is still should be paying you dividends by December 31st. Not that you give it up in a couple of weeks because it was just a tactic, right? So you have to optimize all 8 dimensions of your business in order for your business to continuously and successfully continue growing. To learn more about that, you can click on one of the links on this video description to come to my site and learn more about the 8D method. And this 8D method, through its holistic approach, helped Oram Brothers. It's a men's jewelry brand from the Netherlands. They were stuck at $1.5 million. Within 1 year implementation of the 8D method, they doubled to 3 million. And this year, we started the year off with a plan to actually grow to 10 million. 3 months in, we're already on our way to that $10 million mark. Now, the purpose of this video was to give you my best advice for e-commerce. So click here if you want to learn more about how to execute this step by step so you can grow and scale your e-commerce store. See you in the next one.